Hey friends, today we're going to be talking about feeding sheep and them doing what they do best, which is eating hay and grain, and how to do that in a more cost-effective way using round bales without having large equipment to move round bales. So check this out. Welcome to our channel, Full Measure Farm Michigan. We hope you guys enjoy learning along with us on our small-scale production farm. Pasture-raised lamb, chicken, eggs, organic produce, sourdough bread, and more are all things that we'll cover here, along with how to include your children in your farm life and still get things done. We hope you guys enjoy these videos and consider subscribing. We started out using square bales, and as our flock of sheep grew from about 5 to now 40, we were needing quite a few of those, and the change for us came when our farmer said his square baler is broken and he also cannot find help to move the square bales, so that we were really going to need to find a way to feed round bales. So this was a little bit eye-opening for us, but he encouraged us to really get creative and that it really would save us money in the long run if we could figure this out. So the first year I decided to use this lean-to where we filmed the videos, and I simply used T-post and cattle panel, which are my go-to for just about everything. And I made a manger so the sheep would reach through the cattle panel, and I had on the outside of that where the round bale would go, I had laid down pallets and found some scrap plywood and OSB, and we would roll it back and forth on that. Now, my husband always does things much better after he sees that the system is working. He'll definitely put his heart into making it so much better and build it in a real way that actually works. So he took the time to build this, we call it the hay alley, and there is a 2x4 manger that the sheep can stick their heads through, so they aren't getting hurt and nothing's getting wrecked, which is always a bonus. So this setup is at the right height so that my husband can back the pickup truck up to it. So the farmer has loaded the round bale onto the pickup truck, and he can just back the truck up and we can push it off onto this plywood platform. Then we can roll it back and forth, and that's so much easier to get the hay off of it when you have room to roll it on a level, flat surface. Much easier than just trying to fork it off of a round bale and move it around that way. This is also so handy in that you don't lose that valuable chaff from the feed, all those nice fine things in the hay that are super nutritious for the sheep. And we can also use this spot to feed the sheep their grain when they are getting grain. So if the hay is moved aside in the morning, we can just walk right up there with a 5-gallon pail and feed them. Let's talk a little bit about feeding a round bale in the field. This can be a little bit trickier, but we found a way that really works for us. So again, the round bale is loaded onto the truck. My husband can drive it into the field, ideally before the sheep are in there. That just tends to be problematic. So we know where the sheep are going to go after I've moved the fencing, and we lay a pallet down, and usually between the two of us we are able to get the round bale on that pallet. No matter how it lands, we're usually able to shove it around a little bit, but there are definitely times even when you can't get the pallet underneath, which just helps keep it from rotting and keeps it a little bit more dry. Depending on how long your sheep take to eat a round bale can really depend on how much you need to protect that hay. For us, with about 35 sheep out there, a round bale will last a week to 10 days depending on the pasture. So usually without even rain protection or a pallet, we're usually good. So the key to this is not letting the sheep waste the hay. So, because there goes your productivity. So a cattle panel is what we end up actually wrapping around them. And the creative way that I've came up with to do this is I stand the cattle panel up, a 16-foot one. I'll stand it up and I clip a long 12-foot lead rope to the one end. And that gives me just enough space that I can clip that to the one end and reach around to the other. And then I can pull it together, which is super helpful. These round bales are pretty big, and a 16-foot panel, even with as much as I can pull it, will sometimes have a 1-foot gap, but it is enough that it'll hold that hay together to keep it from flaking apart. So I really pull on it, and then I just go back and forth between the cattle panel, just one way and then the other, and that gives me enough leverage that I can really get it pretty tight most of the time. Sometimes I'll need another lead rope or a rope and some clips, But this has just been a super handy method to get your sheep out of the barn and eating out on the pasture or in a spot that you're trying to improve, and that you're able to actually feed them round bales without them wasting a ton of hay, because we all know that that is what they love to do. Getting your sheep out on your land and just even feeding them hay is one of the best ways to improve your pasture in an easy way. It's how we've taken our field from nothing but ferns and brambles to producing nearly 600 meat chickens a year and lots of lamb. So it's not overrated. It is an easy way to go, but it is just super helpful. I hope you all enjoyed this little video and that it gave you some good tips and some encouragement to try to boost your productivity and maybe change from squares to rounds if you think you could set your farm up to it. You don't know until you try. Guys, if you could like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it, or at least leave a comment and let us know what you think or what ideas you've tried, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching.